Chapter 95, The History of the Tudors. It starts with me, Very, Lincoln and Linka, Lainey, Lana and Lola and Penny watching TV in the living room. We were watching one of my favorite shows, Hysteria, and the episode was The Terrible Tudors. Lainey, this is a cool show but it's making fun of the world's history. Me, that's how this show was made. Very, the Tudor dynasty was the most complicated empire in all of England and in the world. Lola, I find it to be an unusual dynasty but I would never be like Henry VIII. Lana, he was a terrible king, that's for sure. Me, the Tudor dynasty was probably the worst dynasty in the history of the world. It started after the War of the Roses ended and Henry VII married Elizabeth of York in 1485. They gave birth to Henry VIII in 1491 and he became king in 1509. He married his first wife Catherine of Aragon. Mary I was born in 1516. Lainey, yet. From what I remember, the king could not accept a girl getting the throne. Lola, that is an outrage. Lana, Henry VIII was a mean king. Me, yes he was. In 1527 he went to see Pope Clement VII to see if he can grant a divorce. But he refused and Henry VIII started his own church and the divorce went through. He married Anne Boleyn in 1533 and she had a daughter, Elizabeth I, and she was investigated for high treason. She was beheaded 4 days later. Modern historians today ruled the charges today as unconvincing and unjust. Lola, that's terrible. Anne Boleyn was beautiful. Me, yet. Penny, she sure was. Right, Rufus? Rufus, I agree with you, Penny. Rufus is Penny's cat. Lincoln, why would Henry VIII accuse her of that? Me, Henry VIII was a sociopathic king back then and he literally abused his power and forced the whole country of England to abandon their religion, and it's why he made his own church. He wed Jane Seymour in 1536 and she had King Edward VI in 1537. She died shortly after giving birth and Henry VIII grieved and ate until he was overweight. Linka, that is sick and disgusting. Very, that is. Lola, he should have had more class. Me, yet. Later in January of 1540 he married Anne of Cleves from Germany. But the marriage was annulled in July the same year. Lana, that didn't last long, hey? Lainey, no it didn't. Penny, that is a very short marriage. Very, it was because Henry VIII said so. Me, yep. Henry VIII married his fifth wife Catherine Howard. But in 1542 he found out that she was cheating on him and adultery was the same as high treason back then and he had her beheaded. Lola, that dirtbag woman. Very, yet. Penny, how could she? Me, so in 1543 he married his sixth wife Catherine Parr. She made it all the way to when Henry VIII died on January 28, 1547. Lucy appeared. Lucy, that's right. We jump at her appearing in a spooky organ plays. Lincoln, hey Lucy. Lucy, hey Lincoln. I was listening to you all talk about King Henry VIII. Lola, it's really interesting learning about the history of England. Lucy, Henry VIII is in the netherworld and is burning as we speak. The spirits told me. Me, let's see. Chants and incantation Zyderm Nicta Hextagantum Mortium Spirit Esta. Fire crept over the floor and converged by the tree and formed a viewing window that showed us that Henry VIII is indeed in the netherworld being boiled alive in the river of blood. Lucy, wicked. Very, that's him all right. Lola and Lana were hugging each other and shaking in fear. Lana, that is so scary. Lola, yet. But I'm glad that he's in the netherworld. Lainey, Henry VIII doesn't deserve to go to heaven. He was a monster. Linka, you said it, Lainey. Lincoln, I agree. Lucy, that's right. The window closed and vanished. Me, sorry I scared you guys. Lana, that's all right JD, Lola, next time will you warn us? Me, I will. But the Tudor dynasty was not finished then. Edward VI became king after his father died. He was only 10 years old when he took the throne. He was not the youngest king in the history of the world, but he was one of them. He died of a bad disease back in 1552 at age 15. He was followed by Lady Jane Grey, who was also known as 9 Days Jane because her reign as queen only lasted 9 days. She was deposed as queen, and in 1554 she was executed for high treason. Lainey, that's terrible. Me, yet. Her reign as queen is the shortest reign in the history of the world. Mary I was made queen in 1553 and she gave the Catholic religion back to England. She died, however, in 1558. She was followed by Elizabeth I, and Elizabeth made England one of the greatest nations in the world. She was a very famous queen. The Tudor dynasty came to an end in 1603 and it became one of England's most famous and influential families in the country and all of Europe. Lincoln, that is amazing. But I can't believe that Henry VIII was that bad. Linka, me neither. Gabrielle came in. Gabrielle, British accent, I can't believe it either. I may be from England, but if I were queen I would never abuse my power like that. Me, I agree, Gabrielle. Are you by any chance a descendant of any member of the Tudor family? Gabrielle, yes I am. I'm a direct descendant of Mary Tudor, the youngest daughter of Elizabeth of York. Me, that's a big ancestry. She was the third wife of King Louis XII of France, and she married Charles Brandon, the first Duke of Suffolk. And she was also the grandmother of Lady Jane Grey. Gabrielle, that's right. Lola, I didn't know you had some royal ties, Gabrielle. Gabrielle, me neither. Lisa did a DNA test and helped me find out. I am from England, but I also have a family tree that dates back to Mary Tudor. Wow. Lainey, that's incredible. Lucy, I find all this to be very interesting. Lainey, me too. We all have quite an interesting heritage. Me, yep. It's a fascinating thing to learn about. Lincoln, I agree. The screen irised in. The end. Another fanfiction completed. I wanted to do a history-themed chapter. One of my favorite events was the Tudor dynasty's reign from 1485 to 1603. I like learning about all sorts of events throughout all of history. Let me know what you all think. See you all next time. Hysteria is owned by Warner Brothers Studios and Tom Ruger.